Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the Maker's Cave, and today we're going to be doing some prop repair. I've been commissioned to fix a couple props. One of them is this guy here. His speaker is bad in here, so his sound's not that clear. Also, his arms are supposed to open up like this, and it's a Reaper of Souls, and you see there's all kinds of eyes and everything that light up. I've already, unfortunately, without filming, have already fixed the arms. All they needed was some greasing. They were stuck, so I just put some lithium grease in there and they work just fine. But I'm going to show you how you can not only replace the speaker in here, but also give it options so you can get some better sound out of it. So stay tuned. We'll be doing that right now. So we turned him around back, we lifted up his gown that he has on, and here's the control box that controls everything. It's held on here by two wire ties right down in here. But I have cut them off and removed them already. As I said, I started this repair before I started filming, so I apologize for that. So this control box comes out, and if you open it up, this is the speaker that was originally in there. It goes right here. This is just a paper cone speaker, so after several years of being out in the elements, they begin to lose their flexibility and their clarity. So what we're going to do is we're going to be replacing that speaker. I couldn't find an exact match for this speaker. So the speaker we have is a little bit bigger, so we're going to have to make some modifications. One, we're going to have to make a little speaker box for it. And then, of course, we're going to have to attach these wires, which are the speaker, to it. But we're going to do a few other things besides that. This is an audio adapter. What we're going to do is we're going to take these two wires and we're going to put that to here. So there'll now be a jack right here for the speaker that we're going to add in here. Or if the person that owns the prop wants to, he can actually unplug that speaker box and he can actually plug in some computer speakers to get some even better sound, which I'm going to show you how much the sound is improved when you're able to use some computer speakers with a simple prop like this. And you can do this with any prop that's out there. You can easily upgrade the sound to it. And here is that audio adapter. So it basically is going to give you a little jack on the end. It's going to look like exactly what's on the back of a computer. There are 3 screws here, one for ground, left, and right audio channels. Now obviously that prop only has mono coming out of it. So what we'll do is we'll put one of these wires to the ground, and then we'll put the other one to the left, and then we'll use a jumper wire to make a connection between the left and the right, so that way the sound will come out of both speakers. I want to give him a little bit of room here, so I'm going to make this about, I don't know, about 15 inches long, I guess. Now I've exposed the ends. You could just put these right in and screw these in here, but I prefer when we're doing something like this, I'm actually going to put some connector ferrules on the end here. First thing we'll do is the ground. Now I'll put a link below to these, but these are really sharp connectors for when you're doing screw terminals. Basically, you just expose enough wire, and then you put the cap over top, and then you use these special crimpers you have right here. Squeeze down, and as you can see, it crimps the ferrule right on there in like a hexagon shape. You don't need this as long as you do to fit into here, so I cut this about in half. I'll just loosen the screw. On the screw terminal is the negative, or the ground rather. Push it in there. Tighten it up. Now that's in there nice and tight. Okay, now I do have some jacks where I could have just soldered and hardwired in there, but I like using these because this gives the owner a lot of opportunities if he needs to access these wires in the future. So now what we need to do is we have one left right here. So we're going to put that to the terminal for the right side of the sound, and we're just going to run a jumper over to the left. Now that we have that one furrow in at the ground for the audio jack, we have the right and the left terminals left. We're going to take this lead here and we're going to put it to the one labeled R for right, and then we're going to make a jumper cable that's going to go over to left, so that way sound will go to both channels or both speakers. Now I'm going to start off by getting another piece of wire right here, and I guess I'm going to maybe take off about this much right here, and I'm going to separate these wires out. We have to twirl these together, and when we do that, we're going to make this base a little bit thicker because there's going to be two of these wires together, so they need to be able to fit onto these ferrules. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to expose quite a bit of wire. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Now we have two ends stripped that are revealing quite a bit of length of wire. You're going to match these two ends together, and you're going to twist these together, and you're going to take one of your ferrules, now this one's not quite big enough, so I'm going to go up one more size. That's because these two wires are pretty thick. This one here, and it slides right on. Now we'll just take our crimping tool. So that furrow's on there. We're going to do the same thing as before. We're just going to cut it in half. Now we're left with one more, so we don't need to expose quite as much as on here. Twist the wire. Go back to the red. Use our tool again. Cut a little bit of the fur off that we don't need. And now we have these two right here. The one with the double we're going to put right into the red. Oops, I have to loosen the screw first. There you go. Then we take our little lone one right here, which is the jumper wire, and we are going to put that into the terminal labeled L for left. So now we have the sound. This cable is going to be coming attached to the wires that you saw in that control box for the sound. So we have the ground for the audio system, and then we have the right and the left, and they're right and left are joined together with this jumper wire, so now sound will go to both speakers. Now we're going to take this end right here, and we're going to attach those to those white wires we saw on the control box. Here we are back at the control box, and as you can see, here's the two wires that we need to attach. We want to be able to close this up, and we want to be able to run that new wire we just created. So on the front of this is where the old speaker used to be. What we're going to do is we're just going to take a drill and take one of these holes and make it a little wider. Here's that cable connector we just made up. So we're going to take this end right here. We're going to put it through the holes we just made bigger. Here's that audio cable we made. Here's the hole that we just made a little bit larger in the front right here. Here are the two wires coming off of the board for the sound. And now we're going to connect these wires up. So to connect the audio cable that we made to the two wires coming out of the main board, I'm going to use these little connectors here that are called Wago connectors. And the little orange tabs here, you just lift them up like so. And then you can put your wires in there and it'll make a secure connection. I stripped off some wire so it's exposed. And we take one, we put it right into here. Close it up and see it's held right in there. Take the other wire, do the exact same thing. And again, I'll have a link below to where you can buy these. Now we'll just take our wiring harness we made, we'll expose some wire. Take one of the clips, put that into here. There you go, that connector's in there for the one wire. Going to do the exact same for the other. There we go. No soldering, no electrical tape, no nothing. Nice, good, solid connection right there. So now what we'll do is we'll take out some of the slack. And because we don't have a speaker in here, we got plenty of room for these clips to go in here. So now we're going to close the box up. Right there. There's some screws right here. Here's a real good tip when you're working on things like this. I put just some masking tape or this is actually painter's tape, and I put this over top of here because the screw is still in here, and that keeps the screws right in there, and you know exactly where they go. We're going to tighten this box back up. So now we got the audio cable in here, coming out right here. There are two tabs right here where some wire ties go through to secure this to right here. Pull the wire tie to it. Now let's go make that speaker that's going to replace the one we took out of here that was bad. Here is the speaker that we took out. And here's the one that I'm using to replace it. It's pretty much the same diameter, except there are these tabs here on the new one so you can secure it to something. And it is obviously, when you tip it on its side, this one's got a heavier magnet and a little heavier duty. And you can see that it's a little higher up. So that's why it wouldn't fit in there, and we had to make some adjustments on that. Now, we have to put this in something. I'm lucky enough to have some 3D printers here in the cave, but you can, doing this, you could always just put this in a Tupperware container or any other plastic container. Just put some holes on the top here. All right, so this is gonna be like a cooking show. Here's the dough. Here's the cake. So what I did is I 3D printed this box. Okay, on the side I have some holes right here that a lid's going to go onto for the front of the speaker. I soldered a little lead onto here for the speaker. And then I put the speaker in here, and then I just used some hot glue to hold the speaker in here. Here is the lid that I 3D printed. Okay, you can do the same thing. If you notice there's a big hole here, and then on Amazon, you know, which again I'll put a link to, this is just some speaker grill cloth, speaker cloth. I couldn't get that out. And then I used some super glue, CA glue, to put that in there. Now, if you're doing this on your own, again, you could, like I said, you could use a Tupperware container. You could cut this a circle on the top of that Tupperware container, and then just glue your speaker cloth right on top of there. So the speaker goes here, and I put little tabs with some holes right on the side here. So that fits on the side here, and it goes right in here. So we'll screw this in. Okay, so there it is. That is the speaker box. Now, what we're going to do is just like before. Here is the plug for the audio, and again, it's labeled, you know, there's a ground, and then there's a right and there's a left. So we're going to do the same thing as before. Now on this one, we don't have to worry about a jumper wire because we did that for the other one. Both sides of the sound are going to go to the right and the left coming through here, so we can just put one side to ground and we'll put the other one to the R. But I am going to use the Ferrules like I did before, so let's go do that. There we go. All that's left now is to plug this into the jack that we put onto the prop, and let's see what it sounds like. Here's our speaker. We're just going to put this right in here. Okay. Here is the jack we made, and just like plugging your computer speakers into your computer, just plug it right in. Now let's fire this prop up and see how it works. We can just tuck them right up in there. Restore his modesty, put his gown back down. Turn him around right here. And he's a little tall. Here, let me. Okay, he's all plugged in. I have a remote switch hooked up for him to make him activate. Like I said, he is plugged in, so when I push this button, we should get some good sound out of him.
May the demons of the underworld have mercy on your soul.
The lithium grease on the motors and the shoulders and all took away the stickiness that he had on here. We'll do it one more time.
Foolish mortal, behold your destiny and despair.
Okay, so the speaker's been replaced in here. He's doing good. It's replaceable. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up some computer speakers to this, and I'm going to show you how much different it's going to sound. So what we have here are just some cheap, I think they're $10 or $15 speakers from, I think, Office Max or Office Depot, one of those office stores. Now, you can pick these up super cheap at Goodwill, different thrift stores. So keep an eye out for these kind of speakers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these speakers right here behind them. Here's the plug from the speakers. What we're going to do is, gotta go back under here. And we're going to plug these in where that replacement speaker went. Okay, we have the speakers all set up. They're connected to him. Wait to hear this difference.
May the demons of the underworld have mercy on your soul.
This upgrade is a no-brainer. I mean, literally, a couple dollars worth of parts, some cheap speakers, and you have massively improved the sound on a prop. Of course, this was to fix this prop, but again, all my Halloween props that I get from, wherever, that are store-bought, the first thing I do is I upgrade, I jack into that speaker, and I add computer speakers to it. Getting ahead of myself again. When you have a prop like this out in your front yard, your backyard, wherever you're displaying it for the people going by, you've now opened it up. You know, here in a small room, the sound echoes around, makes, the standard speaker really good. But when you get this out in your yard, that's a lot of area it has to cover. And it's got to cut through kids, talking and parents talking, and everything that's going on in your home. By adding these computer speakers, you're able to cut through all that. And what's nice about this particular set of speakers, it even has a treble and a bass setting on it. Oh, actually, I lied to you. It's only got a bass setting on it. But just bumping that around a little bit even improves the quality of the sound even better. So, highly recommended. So, this prop is now fixed. This particular customer, like I said, commissioned me to fix this. He also has a rising zombie that makes a noise as it comes up. That one's got some massive problems. We're going to have to put, Dr. Prop here, we're going to have to put that on the table here and open him up and really see what makes him tick to fix that. So that's the next video. Stay tuned for that one. So, fixed. I'm Steve. Thanks for stopping by the Maker's Cave. If you like what we did here, be sure to hit the like. If you want to see more of what we're doing, hit subscribe. And if you want to be notified of those videos coming out, be sure to hit the bell. Halloween is only 10 months away. So, we don't have much time. We got a lot of builds coming, and we're going to do it. So, thanks for stopping by the Maker's Cave. Like I said before, I'm Steve. I'll see you at the next build or repair.